What's up, people? Welcome. Hi, Glenn, checking in on the YouTube channel. Rob Paisley also on our YouTube channel. Thank you for that. My good friend Doug Cope, thinking of you today, my friend, and he's with me. Stand by there a minute, Doug. I'm going to talk a little bit about today for just a second before we get into our weekend review, as Mark Robinson just said there in the theme song from Sweet Sister Mercy. Thank you guys for that. Those guys are awesome. Kevin Cooper in the house. Oh, he's giving me the Chris Reese. Sup, man. Skip from Liars for Hire checking in. Thank you for being here. The lovely Gina McCann in the house. Love you right back, Douglas. I do. You like it when I call. What the heck happened now? Where did we go? All right, we're back. I hope you heard that, but yeah. How's the audio today, people? We doing all right? We checking in? And Dewey, I'm glad you want to hear about my weekend, because I want to hear about your weekend too. So if you didn't post it on our page where we called for that, and by the way, now we put out a little post and it says, tell us who you saw play over the weekend and basically where it was. Well, I got to give Dave Thornton credit for finally addressing the elephant in the room. It's not a band promotion page, guys. It's for people that go out and see live music to comment on who they like to see and all that fun stuff. So, try not to promote your next gig on it. And that we've got other avenues for that. You know how to do that, but please. Hi, Rebecca. What? Screaming Scott in the house. Yes, going back to 1980. That was my radio handle then. Screaming Scott Hall. Yes. Not so screaming anymore. I'm too old for that. I am. Jimmy Kilroy, how are you? Thanks for being here. Good old Ray Renee in the house. Old Ray Renee. How are you doing, Ray? Alex Hall, my brother from another mother. Thank you, Glenn, for the sound check. Thank you, Bill, for the sound check. Bob Klein in the house. Chris Lee has joined us. How you doing, Chris? Thank you for dropping by. Quentin Fife in the house. Well, let me get started today, guys. I've got a lot to talk about. And again, if you saw somebody play over the weekend, you want to give a shout out in the comments, please do drop it in the comments if you will. But I want to say, first of all, hi, howdy, and welcome to the program here on this Monday, September 11th, a day very near and dear to my heart. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But I don't know if I can get to it, to be honest. It's still, after 22 years, difficult to talk about, but we will. John Hay in the house. Thank you, Jim McCarthy. I'll break it up with some highs to people. How you doing, Jim? What's Glenn got to say? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 22 years ago, an interesting day it was. And we'll chat about that, like I said, here in just a second. But I have some good positive stuff to talk about as well. So let me say hi and welcome to your number one source for live local music, news, bands, venues, and more. It's All Around Town Radio. Don't forget to hit the little share button whenever you get a chance on our program, or share our page with your friends. Tell them to go like it. We'd like to get those likes up there over 10 grand if we could. Followers, whatever you want to call them. Colleen, thank you for being here. Good to have you with us. What's Ray got to say? Had her day job working social media stuff. There you go. Well, your day job is fun. Your night job is fun. It is your night job. Hi, Don Hudson. Thank you for saying hi. Rick Kern in the house. What's going on, Rick Kern? Check out the shirt, Rick. Little Black Bone Cat action going on here today in the studio. So, thank you for those of you who shared our show on Thursday, our Who's Playing Out show, because that's the big one every week. 3.5 thousand views on that one this week. Thank you for that. Always love you guys for doing that. And Sharon is Karen. It is. Sharon is Karen. Always repping Rick Kern. I've got the Rick Kern fan club shirt too. I wear occasionally. If I ever get a day off, a Wednesday off to come to one of your shows, I will. But right now that ain't happening. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately for me, because I'm booked every Wednesday. That's a good thing. It is. So don't forget to follow us, guys, on all the socials out there, if you will. We'd appreciate it if you would do that. Our social media platforms. We're on the YouTube, if you want to check us out there at Hall Around Town. We're on the Instagram at Hall Around Town Radio. We're on formerly known as Twitter, X, but I don't do much on there. And yes, I have a TikTok page, but if you looked at it, I don't do anything yet. I got to learn all that. Too old for this crap. I am too old for it. Too old for it. But yeah, if you follow us on YouTube, guys, if the Book of Face ever takes us off again, you can find us on YouTube. However, last week we got spanked and taken off of both platforms. So we'll address that tomorrow on Hot Topic Tuesday. I'm going to leave that alone today. So before we get started, though, guys, I do want to say September 11th, 2023. Thanks for being with me today. It's National Patriot Day and National Day of Remembrance. And hopefully you're all aware of what this day means. In 2001, where nearly 3,000 people in the U.S. were killed after 4 planes were hijacked by a group of attackers known as the Al-Qaeda terrorist group at that time. And, 2 planes flew into the Trade Center, 1 into the Pentagon, and 1, thank goodness, didn't make it to Washington, was overcome by the passengers. And unfortunately, they all lost their lives, but saved a whole lot of other people, I think, in the process. So those folks are the true heroes of that event and crashing that plane into Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So, if you're unaware of it, the painstaking task of identifying the remains of those killed in the World Trade Center is still ongoing. With the advancements in DNA, the remains of 2 victims were actually identified just this week, which is incredible closure for the families. It's a huge tragedy, but some of those people have been dealing with this now for 22 years, not knowing anything about their loved ones. And that's a tough thing to see. And, in addition to the toll, and I'm going to get on a little soapbox for just a second, and then we'll get back to music. In addition to the toll that day, the World Trade Center attack exposed hundreds of thousands of people to toxic air and debris. And to this date, over 350 New York City fire department employees have passed away from related illnesses to that. So it's still killing people, unfortunately. And that's a lot of folks. And I know the folks that went to New York here from Ohio, and the group I was affiliated with called Ohio Task Force 1 still get tested and checked. And we're hoping that none of them succumb to that. But it was like walking around there in 6 inches of baby powder and all toxic materials. So very, very tough stuff. If you didn't see on my personal page today, if you follow that, I did post the timeline. Started at 8:46 in the morning with that first aircraft hitting the North Tower, and then ended at 10:28 a.m. with the North Tower finally collapsing after a whole bunch of other tragic events going on in between that. I do want to give a quick thank you to the city of Beaver Creek for having us there this morning, and city of Beaver Creek Township Fire Department and City Police Department put on an incredible memorial remembrance this morning at their memorial site. Those pictures are up on my personal page. If you're a friend, go check those out. But I want to give one more shout out to the folks that traveled from Ohio on Ohio Task Force 1 and still to this day are great friends of mine. I get told a lot, thank you for doing all that. I was simply a cheerleader for them in a lot of ways. I will tell you that they're the true ones that spent a long time there. I did get to go to the site, but I did not spend the time they did, and they spent an incredible amount of time looking, unfortunately, for no one who was left to rescue. And thank them for that incredible job that they did, along with, I believe, 11 other teams from across the nation. Now there are 27 urban search and rescue teams, or 28, something to that effect. I've been out of it for 9 years now. That go to all kinds of disasters, such as hurricanes, earthquakes, the fires in Hawaii recently. Ohio sent the K9 unit there. Human detection remains dogs. And that's what they did. So on that note, please remember, please teach children. If you have young children in your lives, please teach them. I was very happy to get a text today from my daughter-in-law, who sent it to me saying her son came home and said they talked about it in their school. He's in 3rd grade. Yeah. And certainly, did I say 3rd, 4th? Yeah. He's young, but he's 9 years old, and they talked about it in his school today, which I think is wonderful. We need to keep teaching what happened on those days. And that's my soapbox. But he told him Grandpa was there. So thank you for that, Liam. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm glad they're learning and not getting it dusted under the rug like so many places are doing. And, even the TV coverage of it now is down to next to nothing. And that's a shame. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Thursday. If you saw somebody play over the weekend, let's get positive here. If you saw somebody play over the weekend, and Doug, if you're still out there, thank you for your service, my friend. Doug was a task force leader who went to New York as well during that difficult time and still carries the burdens of that on his shoulders every single day. So let's roll on here and talk about music. So let's talk about music. Who's out there? I'm not seeing comments. Let me get to the comments real quick. They're not popping up here for some reason. Oh, hi, Dirk Turner. Thank you. Hi, Janice Davis. Ditch. And yeah, Rick, you do have bucket heads, man. You keep wearing that bucket. That's funny stuff. It is. Hi, George Orr from Strange Love, formerly from Strange Love, not Rockstar. Almost screwed that up, George. Yes. Thank you, Rick. And God bless those who we know who played a pivotal part in working against terrorism as well, because they're the true heroes, the ones that are out there every day keeping our country safe. Absolutely. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Doug. I know that's what I tell people all the time, just small part of a big team, and what a team it was and still is. And glad we're retired now, Dougie, so you can float in the pool and have mimosas or whatever you're having in the morning. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jamie Minnick. And thank you, Don Hudson. Appreciate that very much. All right, Doug, we need to get together soon, too. Let's do that. We need a cocktail somewhere. All right, but Beaver Creek's memorial this morning was very good. I was kind of hoping I'd bump into you there. Saw a lot of our old friends there. Mike Kenny was there, all kinds of people. So, and Dr. Tim, if you can believe that, walked up. So I'll tell you about that on the sidelines. All right, let's talk about Thursday real quick. Thursday, I jumped in there to Austin Landing for a few minutes on Thursday. Didn't make it down to the Bell Jam that night either, because I get grandson soccer games on those days some days. So I'm out at those. But we did bump into Austin Landing for dinner, and I got a chance to see Satisfaction, a Rolling Stones tribute band at Austin Landing. Let me tell you, they sounded so much like the Stones, you thought you were at a Stones concert. It was incredible. This guy sounded like Mick Jagger so well. And they, of course, were playing all their hits. People were out there in the Commons area at the Austin Landing. And what a time it was. They were good. We didn't get to see a lot of it, but we saw enough to know that it was a good one. And Amy Zahora puts on some great events at Austin Landing. She does. And she has them all kinds of events through the summertime. And this was one of them. So if you've ever wanted to check out a Rolling Stones tribute band, Satisfaction, they were a good one. Anybody heard them out there before? If you have, raise your hand. Or say you have. Something like that. All right, let me move on, though. That was our Thursday. I'm going to be quick with some of this because I've got a lot to talk about at the end here about some things over the weekend. So Springboro Oktoberfest went on all weekend down in downtown Springboro, and it's a place that we're at every time it's going on in town. You can just bet that's our weekend pretty much. Great entertainment, great food, wonderful people. Got a chance to go to the Oktoberfest Friday night. God, what was the band? I did not write that one down. There were so many little bands that played, and all of it's authentic German music, which I really like. If you're going to go to Oktoberfest, you might as well enjoy authentic. I always am amazed when you go to a Oktoberfest somewhere and AC/DC tributes playing or something. It's like, okay, but it was a good one. And Oktoberfest in Springboro, they do it right. They moved some things this year, made more room for everybody. It's well done, and the volunteer staff there is fantastic. Doug said he went to Blues Night Friday. Eric Henry, did you do at Devil Wind? Yeah, Devil Wind House Band. Heard that's a good one. I've heard about that. I might have to get out there some night, see what's happening with that Devil Wind House Band. And Rebecca, we'll talk about that on Saturday here in just a minute. But she said Heather's was amazing and then completely enjoyed Timestamp. Glad I could recommend that one to you because I thought you'd like that. I did. And we'll talk about Rebecca and her posse here in just a minute. But I do want to talk about we'll get more into Springboro Oktoberfest next for Saturday night, but we were there Friday for a while. I did get the chance to bust up the road. It's walking distance to Heather's Friday night as well, and take in the Wright Brothers 3. And I've seen little snippets of them here and there. I've been in festivals where they've played, and I've only got to see them for a few minutes. And this night, again, I didn't get enough of the Wright Brothers 3 to talk about them the way I want to talk about them. So I'm going to have to check out one of their shows sometimes if I can get to one of their shows and see a full show, because these guys are great. Has anybody heard Wright Brothers 3? Anybody out there? If you have, say so. I'd love to hear from you. And certainly comment here today, guys, if you will. And I'm looking at the other comments that are rolling in here. Jimmy Kilroy, I'll throw that one up there. Thank you. Kevin and Brian from Eyes Up here at Gano over the weekend. There you go. So, Wright Brothers 3. Great rock and bluesy type of band, but playing, their songs, they're the kind of band that I like, because I'm always talking about how I love bands that are all over the place with their set lists. And these guys are the same. Tight band, getting people up dancing, great musicianship. And there was a couple of musicians there in the crowd, they'll remain nameless, that I was talking to. And one of them said, man, I've been playing guitar for 30 years, and I want to be like that kid up there when I grow up. Justin, is fantastic. He is. And so really some good stuff going on with the folks from the Wright Brothers 3. So if you get a chance, guys, follow them and get out and see one of their shows. Young guys, but playing it up well and doing a good job. And they had Heather's going on. And it's a hard weekend for any of the Springboro establishments, because there's literally 10 to 20,000 people at Oktoberfest. And it takes most of the town and then the surrounding people around. So it's not the biggest weekend for the local Springboro music establishments. What's Billy got to say? Eagles Project played a packed field in Evendale Saturday. And Billy, I hope you're coming north with them this weekend, because I plan to be there at North Park in Springboro when the Eagles Project comes to town here on Saturday, I believe it is. I will be there, and I'd love to see you if we could, and hang out a bit. For real. And let me see what else we got here. So thank you to Wright Brothers 3 again, guys. I'm sorry I wasn't there for the whole time. Oktoberfest trumps everything for us, and we have a good time and drink way too much German beer and eat way too much German food and have way too much fun there. And no offense to you guys, because you were fantastic. I think the band has a great amount of energy. They interact with their audience very well. Like I said, voices are amazing, and the music is very well done. I'd recommend this band any day if you get a chance. And Ditch says he highly recommends Wright Brothers. Yeah, they're Wright Brothers 3. They're incredible, and I think this is third generation Wright Brothers band that's playing. That's why they're called that. If I did my homework right. Hi, Alex. How are you? Thank you for being here. All right. So let me keep moving. Party Punch said they had two great shows at the Phone Booth Lounge. The Phone Booth had the biggest crowd I think they've ever had, they said, that night. Party Punch. So way to go. Good job. Party Punch, another fun band. They were at Wings as well over the weekend. What's Bill got to say? Bill and the Bear Jam. Look at all the stuff Bill did. And Bill has videos. Follow him. There's his name. Follow him on YouTube. You can see all the videos, so you can live vicariously through Bill's videos if you didn't get a chance to make it to some of these shows. Good stuff, Bill. Thank you. All right, let me move on to Saturday. Saturday, I want to talk about Oktoberfest at length for just a minute, and then we'll get into the timestamp, boys and girls. But Saturday, Oktoberfest Springboro, the Claberheads. Now, band before them, a horn band that was authentic German horns and all those things. Great fun and doing their thing. But the Claberheads, I've seen them numerous times. If you've never seen the Claberheads, you've missed out. Because basically between August and October, you'll find the Claberheads at your nearest Oktoberfest beer tent playing. And they are leading the fun every time they're there. Everything they do is a mix of party music. It could be new modern music. It could be old standards. Could be Jimmy Buffett. It could be anything, but it's done in a polka flair. And it's just amazing. They're an accomplished musical group. They bring huge energy to the audience. And, it doesn't help to have a tent packed full of 5,000 people that have been drinking German beer all day. That helps your audience. It does. And they can make the audience, they have the audience feeding out of their hand. They really do. And the dancers are up there. And if you went into a local bar and played the chicken dance, people would probably laugh at you. They go to these events and play like the chicken dance, and the entire room is up doing it. And just so much fun. And it's Hamilton, Ohio's oldest band, in case you didn't know that. Franz, I believe, is the way they took over in 1963 when his father unexpectedly passed away, was the band leader. And then flash forward to 2006, Franz had a stroke, but yet he continues to play and sing in this band and do it well. And daughter Erica is now the band leader. And Erica has incorporated into this band, and you think, how do you do this in a German polka type band? She incorporates a steel drum, and it goes right with all of it. It's perfect. It's amazing. And Erica's daughter, next generation, I believe like fourth generation clobbers, if you want to call him that, clobberhead. Erica's daughter plays and sings as well. They have a horn section. Young man, I didn't get his name. He got out there and he talked to the ladies in the audience and crooned them with some great vocals and sat with them. And the horn section came around them and played. And it was just so much fun. So the Clabberheads, go see them. Check them out. They're fun to see at your local Oktoberfest. And they're there every year at Springboro. That's one of the highlights. One of the reasons we got hooked on this thing. Not to mention the great bratwurst and sauerkraut and schnitzel, my nizzle, and all those other things that were going on at Oktoberfest. Now, fast forward to the later in the evening, after the Clabberheads, we jumped on down the road to Heather's again. Got a chance to see our friends from Timestamp. Hello, Billy. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you're going to be there. And yeah, Liz and I may be there with the puppy, new puppy coming in our life. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm definitely going to be there for sure. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Lori. Thank you. And Rebecca says, so much fun. Let's talk about the fun we had. And Rebecca is from Texas. Now, I knew Rebecca was coming to town, and she follows the show here. Rebecca and I go way back to like 1980 when she left this town. Yes, left this town for bigger and better things in Texas. But she was talking to me about music and what was going on when she was in town for the weekend, and had Saturday night. And I told her, I said, well, there's this big Oktoberfest. There's this band at Heather's, which I think you'd really like. She's going to be there with her girlfriends. It was Patty's birthday. Happy birthday, Patty, again. And Rebecca, I told her about Timestamp. Well, lo and behold, they decided to come to Heather's. And I think they had a good time, judging by when I got there. They seemed to be having a wonderful time. And Timestamp, they're out of Cincinnati. If you haven't seen Timestamp, again, another one of Scott's recommendations, must-sees. And Steve Bowe on lead vocals, trumpet, keyboards, hand percussion. Tom Cordera, lead guitar, acoustic guitar, vocals. Kevin Campbell on bass, Rob Broshears on drums, and Matt Vaughn, a great addition to this band now on guitar, keyboards, and vocals. Matt sang Purple Rain and slayed it. Absolutely played it and slayed it. Great stuff for that. So this band was had Heather's rocking. And again, wasn't your standing room only Heather's crowd that you're used to seeing on the weekend where every table's full and there's people all standing around. But it was a great night, and they're so much fun. They play a lot of variety of tunes. Like I said, the type of bands that I like that bounce around the genre spectrum a little bit. And these guys are fun. They're good interaction with their crowd. And one thing I admire about Timestamp is on the breaks, they don't take a break. They come off the stage on a break and they work the room and they talk to the people who have come in and paid money to eat and drink wherever they're at. And I think that says a lot for a band. They're not having a safety meeting outside smoking or doing any of that stuff. They are interactive with their audience. And they're also very, very tight on the schedule. I mean, I watched them. They're watching their watches. They know when it's time to get back up there and not extend a break because somebody's bending your ear too long or any of that stuff. And they get back up on the stage and they give the people what they're there for, and that's live entertainment. And they do it well. And Steve, that horn, man, I love the trumpet you add into that on those songs. It's fantastic. And what Lori says, fun band. Yep. Yeah, they are. They're just one of those bands that you go and you leave with a smile on your face. Always a fantastic group of musicians who are playing wonderful songs everybody can relate to. Yes, Sherry was there at 81 years old, dancing and out there and singing along to every single song. And Lori says, grassroots marketing. That's how the Rusty Griswold's got so big. It is. And it really is. Hi, Rick. Thanks for joining us today. And that, we preach that. We've talked about that on Hot Topic Tuesday, band interaction with your, and I hate the word fans. I like Jake Roberts years ago coined the phrase family because it's really a family of people who come to see him play. And I don't ever consider anybody fans. I think they're there because they're part of a music community and love the music and the people and the interaction and the excitement about being in a club where people are up dancing and those kind of things. And it's a great way to, it's a great way to kind of get them involved when you go out and talk to them and get them to stay and get them to follow you later on. I mean, they made new fans from Texas that night with Rebecca and Patty's from down in Tennessee and all those things. And, that's a great connection. I'm looking at who's checking in here on the old iPad. Mrs. All Around Town has joined us today. John Barry's in the house. Thank you, John. John says River's Edge was over the top. So much was going on this weekend that everybody was having a great time, I think, at everything they went to do. And it was a beautiful weekend weather-wise. It was perfect. And Drive had the opportunity to play Cherie Palello's WLWT Channel 5 birthday party. That's cool. And you know what? We were talking earlier about 9/11. One of the best interviews I did, and I did all the media interviews on 9/11 for the local or the federal rescue team here locally. And Cherie did one of the best interviews with me sitting on the bumper of a fire engine at a fire station. She had the best questions and was so caring and loving and just a sweetheart. And she was at a Dayton station then. It was before she moved to Cincinnati. And I'll never forget her for that because some of the reporters can be really a challenge to deal with. And Cherie was not one of them. She was one of those great people who gave a crap about what was going on and what hurt people's hearts and those kind of things at that time. Rick said Eagles Project killed it as usual. Always killing it. Can't wait to see him this weekend. Stephen Bell in the house from Don't Tell Steve. He is the Steve and Don't Tell Steve. And Steve, 45 years on the trumpet. And yes, my group of gals. I like it when you say that, Steve. My group of gals were awesome. Yes, Sally, Patty, and Rebecca. Great people. They were. And wonderful. And Steve, you played in the Ohio State Marching Band, I know. So, and Steve does a lot trumpeting also for veterans and funerals for veterans, playing taps and those kind of things. So he's got my admiration always with that as well. And my heartfelt thank you for that, Steve, for all you do for the veterans. What else we got here? Jamie Minnick, shout out to Second Wind. Oh, Second Wind is another one they're fantastic. And you put me in a room with a horn section, I am happy all night. It's like horn section or Hammond B3 organ. Either one of them, I'll smile all night long. I will. And that's why we like the Claberheads, the horn section and everything else they do. It was good. Yes. Yes, family. That's a good word, isn't it? I thought it was. I think that's a good one. And Bob says he can't. Bob, we think a lot alike, buddy. I can't stand the term fans either. Yes. Yes, they're friends and supporters. Absolutely. You may be able to call them your fans when you're filling, 100,000 seat arenas and those kind of things. But when you're a local band, they're more family. They are. What's up, Chris Will? Thanks for being here. Hey, guys, I want you to mark your calendars, too, while I'm thinking about it. Chris Will just popped it into my head here. Hi, Jennifer K. How are you? Miss you as well. And thank you for flying those colors on your profile pic today. Thank you. And the Bell and the Bear, October 8th, Women Who Rock fundraiser. Please check it out. For women helping women. And they've incorporated the gentleman into the show this year as well. It's going to be an unbelievable show. Tommy London from XM Radio be co-hosting with me, and Bridget Rock from 96 Rock. And then a host of unbelievable musicians, including Britt Lightning from Vixen. And you're definitely going to be there. And, of course, John Karabi kicking it off with some acoustic music. So that's going to be a day to remember at the Bell and the Bear. I'll be there on October 8th. Love to see you there as well. And help us raise some money. Bring money in your pockets, people. You know, what did that old preacher say? Don't make me yell. Don't make me shout. Just empty your wallets inside out. That's what you're going to do that day. For real, for real. Yes, Cordero was also in the OSU marching band. There you go. All right. So you guys are OSU alumni. We better get better this year. I didn't like the way it started, even though we won, but still not looking like we ought to be looking. And I don't even want to talk about my Bengals. I'm heartbroken over that one. Yes. Yes. Kevin Cooper said Stephen Bell nailed it on sound for the Hanky Panks yesterday at the St. Claremont Festival. Thank you for that. Stephen Bell is one hell of an engineer. Top-notch sound engineer. He is. All right, guys, I've run out of time. It is now, we've been doing this 32 minutes. That's plenty. So if you saw somebody play over the weekend you want to give a shout out to, we do have a post on our page about that. Drop it in the comments there and tag the venue, please. If you can, tag the venue. It's so important that we support these venues that pay for these musical acts to come play and do it. And Rebecca loves her Cowboys. Yes. The Silver Stars. There they are. She loves those Texas boys. Thank you to Timestamp. Thank you to Wright Brothers 3. Thank you to the Claberheads. Thank you to Satisfaction for a few minutes at Austin Landing. And thank you to Springborough's Oktoberfest Committee for putting on a great event this weekend. I will tell you a couple events that are going on here that I want you to know about is, first and foremost, tomorrow, Hot Topic Tuesday. Watch for that topic to get posted. We are going to tone that one down so we don't get demerits this week. We'll tone it down a little bit. Sorry, we just cannot do what we've been doing and stay on. Next violation is a 30-day spanking. And if I'm off the air for 30 days, you may never see me again. I'm telling you. That may be the catalyst to make me retire altogether. So we're trying to keep it clean. If anybody knows Karis, please tell her to keep it clean. Good luck. Good luck. So tomorrow with that one going on, Mr. Burroughs Trivia tomorrow night, I'll be hosting that 7 to 9:30. First question on the dot at 7 o'clock. Wednesday night, Name That Tune at Heather's on the patio. Still taking reservations for that. We're there through the mid-November. And then Thursday, Who's Playing Out? Brought to you by Froggies in Monroe. Rich and Stacy, been our longtime sponsor here. Thank you to them for that. That'll be going on. Wednesday with the band, still searching for a band for this week. If you're a band, you want to come on Wednesday at noon, just talk something. Even if you're just a solo artist, you want to talk crap, come and talk crap. Just don't talk about the old MFK game. We can't do that anymore. Nope, not going to happen. No more of that. None of that. And Doug Cope, I know you got banned for life on your old accounts. Had to start new ones. Yep. That's the way they work. Where am I on Monday, Rebecca? I'm home on Monday. That's what I do Monday. Actually, I write trivia on Mondays and get it ready for the week. So that's what my schedule is. Thanks for watching today, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Wonderful people who help us with this music community each week. And thank you. Don't forget to get out and support live local music and the bands and venues that bring it to you, everybody. Okay, why did I hit that button? I didn't want to hit that button. Hit that button.
This is Dave Wade from Cincinnati's own Deviate, and you're listening to Haul Around Town Radio.
Thank you all for being here. We're going to leave you with some Johnny Fink music today. This one's called New Girl Now. New Girl Now. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 5.
See, I got me a little problem. When you come home at night, I got another woman who wants to treat this daddy right. Go ahead on, baby. Go on, do what you got to do. 'Cause I got me a sweet young thing. I got the new girl blues. She wants to hold my hand. She wants to scratch my back. She loves me all night long, till I have a heart attack. Go ahead on, honey, 'cause my foot's in another shoe. I got me a sweet young thing. I got the new girl blues. Yeah.